everyone, Karen here, and today I'm going to revisit Class 3 from Craftaganza at Home. Now, if you recall, it had this really nice lacy edgable, and it also had some flowers. So I'm only going to use the edgable today, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to make a gatefold card. So I have the die here, and I have cut some out. I do need to cut one more out. I have a message for the inside, and I do have a happy birthday for the front that I've already stamped. So let's talk about the paper you're going to need. So to make a gatefold, you will need a 10 by 7, and you're going to score it at 2.5 and 7.5. And that just makes your basic gatefold. I then have a piece of 3.25 by 5.5, and this is going to go on the inside. You then will need 4 1.5 by 5.5, and that's what we're going to cut the die out of. Then you will need 2 4.25 by 6.5. Now, when you cut this, if you are going to use a print, make sure that you lay it out. You want to cut one side and then the other because you want your print to continue on both sides of the front. So I did label these left and right so I would remember. And once again, you're going to want 2.25 by 6.5 in print. And then to mat that, you're going to want 2 3/8 by 6 3/4. I know that seems a little weird, but what's going to happen is I'm not going to have a space here in the middle. I'm just going to have an edge around the outside. So that's why it's 2 3/8 by 6 3/4. And you'll need 2 of those. All right, so let's get started here. Let me put this to the side. So the first thing I want to do is cut the last one I have to cut of this. So once again, you need 4 pieces that are 1.5 by 5.5. And I have 3 already cut, and this is craft card. So what I'm going to do is I am going to lay this down even with the bottom because I want to make sure these are all the same size. Alright, so I'm just going to line this up to where I just see a smidge of the brown poking out of the bottom. And I'm going to tape this down, and I'm going to tape the whole top of this down because I don't want this to shift at all when I cut this out. And I will run this through my machine. Alright, so I have cut this through, pull that off, pull my tape off, pull this out. That looks pretty clean. I will clean that later. Let me grab my pokey tool and just check it. I have a few little hanger-ons here. And I think that's good. Alright, so now we have all of these cut. So 2 are going to go on the front of the card and 2 are going to go on the inside. So let's talk about the front of the card. So I have my 2 3/8 by 6 3/4, and I'm going to layer those with my 2.25 by 6.5. Like I said, I wrote left and right on the bottom when I cut these because I wanted to make sure I didn't put them in the wrong order. So I want a minute to slide these in place, so I'm going to go ahead and use my Collel glue, my last bottle of Collel glue. Now if this is going to come this way and this is going to come this way to match in the middle, I'm going to line it up with the edge here, and then I'm going to make sure that my side and my top are the same, but I want it flush with the bottom. So it's like this. Flush here and just a border on this side. I'm going to repeat the same thing with the other one. Make sure I'm doing the right side because it's very easy to turn your paper around upside down. And do the same thing here. This goes to the inside, flush, and I will make sure my top and my sides and my bottom all have the same spacing, like that. Alright, now I'm going to take 2 of the edgables that I cut out, and I'm going to put one here in the middle, and I'm going to put one here in the middle. And all of this will go on the front of the card. I'm going to grab my fine tip bottle and I'm going to put some glue here. Now here you have a choice. You can either glue down the whole entire die, or you can just glue down this rectangular lattice part in the bottom and leave the scalloped edges loose. So then this will go in the middle, right up to the edge, like that. And I'm going to leave my scalloped areas loose. So we'll put that down. Now I'll do the same thing with the other side. Now when you glue down this side, you need to make sure that it is lined up. So I'll put some glue across the top, the bottom, a couple little spots here and there. I take my finger and spread that out a little bit. I think that needs a little bit more glue here. There we go. I'm going to put these two next to each other. Make sure they're lined up straight. And I'm going to lay this one down. Make sure I'm lining it up with the other one. So I'm going to double check here. That's straight, and oop. There we go. That is straight. And make sure I'm flush. There we go. Now these will get glued to the front of the card, which here again is going to be flush with the center here, so we're only going to have an edge on the bottom, the side, and the top. The middle of the card is going to come together. I'm going to go back to the Collall glue. Because Collall glue takes a second to set up, so it gives me a few more seconds than my tacky glue does. Alright, so this is going to go to the center. Make sure that's flush. And my sides and my top and bottom are all the same. Like that. And we'll repeat on this side. Now the print paper I have in here is what I had left from the kit. Alright, so I'll put this here. Now I'm going to want to close the card, make sure I'm all lined up. Make sure everybody's flush with the edge here. Check it one more time. Collall gives you a second. Right. And we're flush. And there we go. So that gives you this really pretty gatefold here. And your sides come together to make it more like one big front. Now you could, if you wanted to at this point, put a couple flowers on here. But I think I'm just going to put happy birthday. I think. That might be getting a little lost. Alright, I do have a couple flowers left from the class. So let's see. These are all the big flowers. There we go. Maybe I can just put one on each side. Yep, I think it does need that. And then I'll use the rest of my green leaves that I have here. I do have two of the light colored ones. And I will use the rest of these leaves. All right, let me close this up. All right, so we'll put some tacky glue on this side. And I'll put the flower down over here. And I'll put a flower on this side. Let me trim that off a little bit more. And where I put the stamen through is a little high. Alright, so we'll put that over here. And put this one over here. And when we had the class, I made a lot of the flowers. So now I can just kind of stick them in wherever I want. I'm going to put glue on both sides. And I'm just going to tuck it in behind this flower and press down. I'll put a leaf on the other side. Yeah. And if you don't remember how to form the flowers using the iron, you can go back and look at the Craftaganza class, because those are still posted. So you have one more big leaf, we'll put one over here. There we go. Now we'll put some of these little leaves in here. Put one there. And I'll put one over here. That will give us 3 leaves on each one. There we go. Now to decide to put the happy birthday together or to separate it. Kind of leaning toward putting it under the flowers, but I think that needs foam because that's getting a little lost. So I'm just going to take a little piece of my foam that is 1/16 thick, but only 1/4 of an inch wide. And I'm just going to put a little piece on here. And this happy birthday, I believe it came out of an advent calendar from Crafter's Companion. So we'll put happy over here. Birthday over here. Maybe not quite so. There we go. That's all right. Now I think I want to take some sparkle pen to this. This card is a little more subdued because it's got the craft card and the gold. So I think I want to put a little sparkle on it. Make sure that's flowing. Now I'm going to put some on the flowers because you absolutely can put the sparkle on the foam flowers. Give them a little something. But you can shine these flowers right up. Put a little on the leaves. These are still wet. So there, you can see you can definitely add some shine to these flowers. All right, I think I'm going to put a little sparkle on the happy birthday. And then take a couple of these flowers that are in the print and go on them. Let's see, we'll sparkle this one up here, and then we'll sparkle these up here, just to give it a little something. just kind of brightens it up. Now I also have some gems which we can add. Let me grab my pokey tool here. And I think, let's see, I have some small ones and I have some large ones. I think the large ones are just going to be a little bit too big. So I think I'll put a few of the small ones on here. Oh wait, what would it look like if I put one in the center here? I think I'll do that. Alright, so I'm going to put one here in the center, and one here, and one here. Alright, there's one. And there's two. And three. And four. There we go. Get that in there. There we go. I think I may put a couple more, but I think in a different color. Maybe it's a couple of little green ones. Let's say I pulled out these because these are the same color as these flowers, so I think I may use some of these too. So I'm thinking I'll put one up here where it's dark. Then I can put two little ones in front. All right, there's one. Put a little more glue there. Pick up another little one. That. And do the same thing on this side. So one medium one. And two small. There we go. Now I have that. Maybe, let's see, do we have more? Maybe one on the bottom. The glue that comes under these came off. Let me get rid of that. All right. And another medium one on the other side. Make sure those are kind of the same. And I think that's good for the front. All right, we'll just set this to the side and let that dry. Now let's talk about the inside of the card. Now the inside of the card, I have a 3 1/4 by 5 1/2, and I'm going to use these last two die cuts from the edgable. Now what I want to do is I want to put them down the side like this, and then put my stamp in the middle. That's my plan. So I think I want to glue these on first to make sure I size it right. And here again, I'm not going to glue down the scallop part. I'm just going to put some glue here and dab it. Just need some more glue. Okay, one will go down one side. You can see I matched it up just the color to cover this bottom part. All right, I spread the glue out. And line it up with the edge. Like that. Wipe that glue off. All right. Now we get my stamping platform. Move all this out of the way. Put this down on my sticky mat. And this says, "Have a fabulous day." I needed something kind of skinny. A lot of the stamps I had were too wide. So that's why I settled on this one. This is from the Versus collection that came out a while back. All right, I am going to put a little piece of tape on this just to make sure it doesn't move, because that is curling up a little bit, the scallops. Alright, so now let's stamp this, and I'm going to use the quick dry jet black. I am going to wipe around this. Since I know my paper is not laying completely flat in there, I want to make sure I don't smudge it. Alright, let me stamp it again. Because I am stamping on colored paper, so I'm going to have to stamp it a little bit more than normal. There we go, that looks good now. Let's take this off. Glued inside the card, and we will be done. Alright, this has had a second to dry. So now I just need to take some glue. Use Call-L so I can slide it where I want. Alright, open the card. Lay this in the middle, like that. And there we go. Happy birthday with the flowers from the class and the edgable. And then use the edgable again on the inside to frame your message on the inside. Well, I hope you enjoyed this card. If you did, give me a thumbs up. And please consider subscribing to my channel. And until next time, stay crafty.